Hello, Internet! You can call me Parsha Becky. For the past few months, I've been sharing Parsha videos with my students, and now that school's out, I didn't want to stop talking about the Parsha. So, this week's Parsha is for everyone watching this. This week, we are in the middle of reading Parsha in the fourth book of Chumash, known as Sefer Bamidbar. Bamidbar means in the desert, and for the whole book of Bamidbar, the Jewish people are traveling in the desert on our way to the land of Israel. Now this week, at least outside of Israel, like me, we have a double parsha. We've got two parshas stuck together so that we can get through the entire Torah in 1 year. And our double parsha combines the parshas of Chukat and Balak. Together it is known as Chukat-Balak. The first part of the parsha is called Chukat. Chukat means rule. And it starts off with a special rule for a ritual to do with a red cow that is 100% whole and healthy and has never been used to do any work. And this special ritual with the red cow will give us ashes that can be used for extreme purification to make people and things pure, to be able to go into the Mishkan or the Beit HaMikdash later on. And the parsha continues after this special rule with some interesting stories. We reach the end of the life of Miriam, Moshe's sister, and then the people start to get whiny again. And they're like, I'm thirsty! I'm thirsty! I want water! There's no water! I'm so thirsty! And Moshe and Aharon pray to Hashem, and they're like, Hashem, what do we do? And Hashem says, okay, Moshe, you're going to take your stick. You two are going to gather up all the people in front of that rock. You're going to talk a bit about the rock, and you're going to get water for them out of the rock, and you'll give the water to the people, and they'll drink it, and they'll be happy. So Moshe takes his stick, and he and Aaron gather all the people, and they're like, hey, you whiny complainers. You want water? Well, how about we give you some water out of that rock over there? Will that make you happy, you whiny complainers? And Moshe hits the rock with his stick twice, and lots of water starts gushing out of the rock, and the people drink the water, and then they're happy again. And Hashem says, Moshe and Aaron, you followed the instructions, technically, but you missed an opportunity. You didn't really do it right. You could have taken this opportunity to really sanctify Hashem, to really show everyone how holy Hashem is. And you didn't do it. You really lost that opportunity. You didn't do that right. Maybe you were just tired. Maybe you were stressed out and frustrated and angry and upset, but you lost an opportunity. And as a consequence, Moshe and Aharon, you are not going to be leading the Jewish people into Israel. You are great leaders for where we are in the desert, but someone else is going to lead them into Israel. And this place is called Mei Meriva, which means water of fighting, because people were fighting at the water. And by now, we're already near the end of, remember back in Parshat Shlach, we were told that we have to be in the desert for 40 years. But we are now near the end of those 40 years and we're almost ready to go into Israel. But there's a couple of countries between where we are and where Israel is. So Moshe sends messengers to the king of the country of Edom. And the messengers say, hey, we're on our way to our country of Israel. Will you please let us pass through the country of Edom on our way to Israel? And he says, no! And the messengers say, oh, please, we promise that we won't trespass, we won't walk on anyone else's property, and we won't even drink your water unless we pay for the water that we drink. And the king says, no, and if you try to get into my land, I'm going to fight you. So the Jewish people walk all the way around the country of Edom, because we don't want to start a fight, and we're not allowed in there, so we go around, and we come to a mountain named Hor Hahar, which means mountain, the mountain. And Hashem tells Moshe that it's time for Aharon, for the end of Aharon's life. And Aharon is going to climb the mountain. And Moshe, Aharon, and Aharon's son Elazar go together up the mountain. And together at the end of the mountain, Aharon reaches the end of his life. And Moshe puts Aharon's special Kohen Gadol uniform onto Elazar, because now Aharon is no longer the Kohen Gadol, because Aharon is no longer with them. So now Elazar is going to be the Kohen Gadol, the leader of all the Kohanim. And they come down the mountain, and all the people are very, very sad. And for 30 days, they wait there, and they think about Aharon, and they cry, and they mourn for Aharon. And then we continue traveling. But a king of a place called Arad, he comes and he starts a fight and he kidnaps a bunch of people from the Jewish people. And we are very upset that people got kidnapped. So the people pray to Hashem and they say, Hashem, we promise if you let us win the fight against the king of Arad and get back the people that he kidnapped, we are going to give everything that we get in the war back to Hashem. And they fight the king of Arad and they win. And they keep their promise and they give everything back to Hashem. And that is called doing a cherem. So they name that place Chorma, or the place where they did a cherem. And they continue traveling, but then the people get whiny again. And they say, there is no food, and there is no water, and we don't even like the food. Hang on. If they don't like the food, is it true that there is no food? There's food. They just want to complain. And they're like, we just want to complain. And some fiery snakes come. And the snakes start biting people. And the people who get bitten by snakes get very, very sick. And the people say, Moshe, we're really sorry for being whiny and complaining. Please pray to Hashem and make the snake bites go away. And Moshe prays to Hashem. And Hashem says, Moshe, I want you to make a statue. And you're going to make it really, really tall. And everyone who looks at the special statue that's going to remind them of what happened here is going to get healed from their snake bites. So Moshe makes a copper statue of a snake to remind them of what's happening with the snakes. And he makes a statue of a snake and he sticks it high up on a pole. And everyone who looks at the copper snake statue gets better from their snake bites. And we keep traveling. We travel to lots of different places on our way to Israel. And we dig a well. And we sing a song about the well. And then we're getting closer and closer. And there's still another country in our way. So we send messengers to a king named Sichon. And we say, Dear Sichon, please let us pass through your country on our way to Israel. We will not trespass. We will pay for any water that we drink. We will go in one straight line. We won't be in anybody's way. And not only does he say no, he takes his whole army and he starts a fight with us. But Hashem helps us and we win the fight against Sichon. And then another king named Og, he's like, hey, I want to fight people too. And he comes and he takes his army and he starts a fight. And this guy Og is kind of scary. But Hashem says, don't be scared of Og because I am on your side. And Hashem is on our side and we win the fight against Og. And that is the end of the first part of our parsha, the part called Chukat. At this point, we are camped just across the river from Israel. We're just one river away from Israel. We're almost there. And the parsha continues. The second part of the parsha is called Balak, and Balak is the name of a person. And this part of the parsha is going to change things up a bit because it's telling the story from a different point of view. Now, Balak is the name of a king of Moab, a king of a country called Moab, which is very, very near to where Bnei Israel, where the Jewish people are at this point in the parsha. And he sees that all the Jewish people are very nearby, and he sees that we just won all our fights with the king of Arad, with the king Sichon, with King Og, and he's kind of scared because he doesn't want to fight us because we keep winning, but he also thinks there are too many Jews here and I don't like them. He's very mean. So Balak has an idea. He knows of a guy whose name is Bilam, and this guy named Bilam, people think that he has magic. And Bilam is a Navi, and he's not Jewish, but he talks to Hashem. And Balak sends messengers to Bilam, and the messengers say, Bilam, Balak says that there is a nation called the Jewish people, called Bnei Israel, who are really, really too close to his country, and there are so many of them, and he doesn't like them. And what he wants is for you to curse those people so that bad things will happen to them, because you have really great magic, Bilam, and we all know that whenever you curse people, bad things happen to them, and whenever you bless people, good things happen to them. You're really good at that, and he will pay you lots and lots of money if you do that. And he says, okay, well, you guys stay overnight, and I'm going to ask Hashem when I go to sleep, and I'll see what Hashem says, because I have to follow Hashem's rules. So they stay, and he asks Hashem. Hashem says, hey, what are these people asking Bilam? And Bilam says, oh, Hashem, they're from the king of Moab, and all he wants me to do is curse these Jewish people so that bad things will happen to them. And Hashem's like, yeah, no deal. The Jewish people are extremely blessed. I want good things to happen to them, so you can't curse them. And the next morning, Bilam says to the messengers, he says, bad luck, Hashem won't let me curse the Jewish people, so you guys can go home to Balak and tell him I'm not able to accept his deal. And the messengers go home, But Balak does not like people saying no to him. So he sends more messengers back to Balaam. And the messengers say, Balak says he really, 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 really wants you to curse the Jewish people. And he doesn't want you to say no. And he will pay you twice as much. He will pay you so much money. He will give you so much. He'll give you anything you want. All you have to do is curse the Jewish people. And Balaam says, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how big the reward is. I am not trying to negotiate. I have to follow Hashem's rules. And Hashem said that I'm not allowed to curse the Jewish people. You can't do anything about it. And they say, well, Balak really doesn't want you to say no. And he says, okay, how about you stay over tonight? And I'm going to ask Hashem one more time, in case Hashem changed his mind or something. And then I'll tell you in the morning what Hashem says. So they stay over. And he asks Hashem at night again. He says, Hashem, Balak really, really wants me to curse the Jewish people. What do I tell him? And Hashem says, okay, well, you can go with the messengers. You can visit Balak, see what he wants. But here's the rule, Balaam. You can only say exactly what I tell you to say. And you have to say exactly what I tell you to say. And if that's a curse, it's a curse. If it's a blessing, it's a blessing. And Balaam says, okay, that's a fair deal. And in the morning, he tells Balak's messengers, he says, okay, well, Hashem says I'm allowed to go with you. But here's a warning. I'm only going to say exactly what Hashem says, wants me to say. And I'm going to say everything that Hashem says for me to say. So just be careful. And they say, okay, Balak will be very happy to see you. And they come with him, and he saddles up his donkey. He's going to ride his donkey to follow them. And he's walking along. And he is riding along on his donkey when all of a sudden an angel appears in front of the donkey, holding up a sword. And the donkey sees the angel. Balaam does not see the angel. So the donkey runs off the path away from the angel. And Balaam's like, why is the donkey running off the path? Wrong direction, donkey. And he starts hitting his donkey until it gets back onto the path. And he keeps riding his donkey. And they get to an even narrower road where there's actually a wall, a fence on either side of the road. And suddenly, again, an angel appears in front of the donkey holding a sword. And this time the donkey can't run off the path. So the donkey presses up against the wall to get away from the angel, far away from the angel's sword. And squishes Balaam's leg against the wall. And Balaam says, ah, my leg, bad donkey. And he hits the donkey again for hurting his leg. And then they keep walking, he keeps riding his donkey, and the donkey's going along. And now the road gets so narrow that there's no room to run off the road, and there's not even room to squish against the wall. There's really no room for anything at all. And again, an angel appears in front of the donkey holding a sword, and the donkey just sits right down, because the donkey can't walk into the angel. Balaam doesn't see the angel. And Balaam starts hitting the donkey and says, get up, donkey, get up, get up, get up. And he's hitting the donkey. And then Hashem makes the donkey able to speak. And the donkey says, Balaam, why are you hitting me? I have been a very good donkey, haven't I? I've been your donkey for so long. I have been a very good donkey. I've never done anything bad to you. Why are you hitting me? And Balaam says, donkey. Balaam says, donkey, I'm hitting you because you are causing trouble. I'm trying to follow these messengers, and you keep running off the road, or squishing my leg, or sitting down. And then Hashem makes Balaam able to see the angel with the sword. Balaam says, oh! And the angel says, hey, Balaam, why do you keep hitting your donkey? You hit your donkey 3 times for no good reason. The donkey was saving your life. If the donkey didn't run off the field or squish up against the wall or sit down, I could have stabbed you with my sword. So you should really be thanking your donkey, Balaam. And Balaam says, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. I didn't know that you were there. You're right. I'm sorry, donkey, for hitting you. But if you don't want me to follow Balak's messengers, I can still go home. I will stop. I didn't know that you were trying to stop me. And the angel says, no, you can still go with the messengers. I'm just here to give you a reminder and a warning. Just remember, when you get to Balak, you can only say exactly what Hashem wants you to say, and you have to say everything that Hashem wants you to say. And Balaam says, message received, understood, and he keeps riding along on his donkey until he gets to Balak. And Balak says, hey, Balaam, what's the big idea? Why didn't you come the first time I asked? And Balaam's like, listen, I'm here now, okay? So don't get mad. But just so you know, Hashem didn't want me to come, and Hashem says that I have to say everything that Hashem says, and I can only say what Hashem wants me to say. So just be careful, okay? And Balak says, okay. And he takes Balaam to take a look from the top of a mountain down at where the Jewish people are. He's like, those are the people I want you to curse. And Bilam says, okay, well, we're going to need to build 7 mizbechot, 7 altars, 7 tables for giving presents to Hashem. And we're going to, on each one, we're going to sacrifice to Hashem a boy cow and a boy sheep. So that's 7 boy calves and 7 boy sheep. And the 7 mizbechot, 7 mizbeachs. And they build them and they sacrifice them. And Bilam starts walking off to see what Hashem will tell him to say. And Bilam comes back with a message from Hashem, and he says how wonderful the Jewish people are, and how lots of great things are going to happen for them, and how Hashem won't let him curse them because Hashem wants really good things to happen to them. And he ends by saying, I hope that the same kinds of things that happen to them will happen to me because they've got a wonderful future. And Balak says, Bilam, what are you doing? I asked you to curse them. That sounds like you just blessed them. You made a mistake, Bilam. And Bilam says, I warned you. I just can only say exactly what Hashem wants me to say. And Balak says, well, okay, let's try again from a different spot, and maybe this time you will do it right and curse the Jewish people for me. So they go to a different spot, and again, Bilam tells Balak to build 7 mizbeachs, and they sacrifice 7 boy cows and 7 boy sheep. And Bilam goes for a walk to see what Hashem will tell him to say. And he comes back, and he's got another message from Hashem. And the message, he talks again about how great things are going to happen for the Jewish people, and how nobody can ever curse them, and how nobody can use any magic against them, and how they are going to be so powerful, and they're going to destroy all their enemies, Balak. And Balak says, listen, Balaam, you've caused enough trouble, just keep your mouth zipped. Don't say a blessing, don't say a curse, just don't say anything. And Balaam says, it's too late. Remember, I told you I have to say everything that Hashem wants me to say. And Balak says, okay, well, let's try this one more time then. One last chance. We're going to go to another spot, and you're going to try to curse them from there. So they go to another spot, and again, they make 7 mizbeachs, and they give Hashem 7 boy cows and 7 boy sheep. And then this time, Bilam doesn't even go for a little walk. He just looks down, and he says another blessing about how beautiful it is to see the Jewish people, and how they are arranged so nicely, and how they've got such a beautiful future, and they're going to have a wonderful time, and they are going to destroy all their enemies, Balak. And Balak gets so mad that he claps his hands. Don't you always get mad when you clap your hands? If you're angry and you know what, clap your hands. He gets so mad that he claps his hands, and he says, listen, Bilam, I hired you to curse my enemies, to curse the Jewish people, and instead you blessed them not once, but 3 times. Just go home, Bilam. I was going to pay you a lot of money to curse them, but hey, you gave up on your payment. And Bilam says, yeah, well, I warned you. I can only say what Hashem wants me to say, and I have to say everything Hashem wants me to say, and Hashem really likes these people. So tough luck for you. And you know what? Before I go home, Bilam says, I'm going to give you another little taste of what's going to happen in the future. And he says another prophecy about how the future is going to be so wonderful for the Jewish people, and they will have amazing people come from them, and they are going to destroy the nation of Moab, Balak, for trying to hurt them. And they are going to have a great future. And then he looks around and he sees a few other nations that do bad things. And he's like, oh, those nations are going to get destroyed, and those nations are going to get destroyed, and those nations are going to get destroyed. But great things are going to happen for the Jewish people. And then Bilam goes home. And the parsha ends with the people of Moab trying another way to harm the Jewish people, because some women from Moab start to trick the Jewish people into praying to the idols that people of Moab pray to. Are we allowed to pray to idols? No way. Do you think Hashem likes us praying to idols? No way. So they are causing big trouble here. And Hashem says, hey, Moshe, you are going to have to find all the people who are in charge of this, who are getting everyone else into it, and you're going to have to make sure they get punished. And while Moshe is getting people together to try to punish all the people who are doing the bad praying to idols, another woman from Moab and from Midian shows up and gets together with one of the leaders and is like, yeah, we're going to do some more praying to idols together. And Pinchas, Eleazar's son, Aharon's grandson, grabs a spear and stops them both right in front of everybody. And because he stops them, Hashem stops being angry at all the Jewish people. They stop praying to idols, and everything ends up being okay by the end of the parsha. And that is the very exciting end of Parshat Chukat-Balak. And we're going to stay tuned next week to to find out more about our friend Pinchas. Shabbat Shalom.